Browns Film Breakdown Saturday, a little different today. We have Brad and I first up with updates on the final injury report heading into the game, and then we will also have our college football picks for the weekend, and then a little behind schedule because of recording difficulties. We have Behind Enemy Lines with Ken McKusick, which we got to yesterday before the injury report, but that's okay. We're checking in on how the Ravens are doing heading into this game. A lot of good information. Football weekend ahead. The Browns kick off a little later than usual, so just another. I'm determined to get like 12 reminders to you guys. It's a 4:00 kick by the weekend, and I think we're right on
pace.
right on pace for where we need to be for that. So everything you need and more for your college football and opponent preview right now on Browns Film Breakdown, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook and Monfredi Dental. What's up, guys? What's happening? We're live and recording for you on Friday night. Exciting news for the TV world. YouTube TV has opened their arms and wrote a check to ESPN. I haven't dug into the details. We'll be paying for it. Just let's be clear about that. The consumer will make up the difference. But it does appear that YouTube TV is now going to offer a sports-only package here. Like it's not sports only, but it's a limited sports subscription offer that has ESPN in it. Obviously, ESPN launched their own app, which is just their sports, but this is a whole exclusive thing to YouTube TV now, where they'll offer a very dense, just sports package of content, which doesn't work for my house because there's a slew of Pokemon shows. We got Paw Patrol's fading away as a show called Blaze and the Monster Machines that my youngest is into right now. Very good science technology, a STEM show, a lot of really good lessons being taught there. I had my 3-year-old talk about being aerodynamic the other day, which was pretty mind blowing. You don't get that without Blaze and the Monster Machine. So we are unfortunately tied to the Nickelodeon, Disney stuff. Still, I know Disney has its own app, but there's some things we can't just get sports. But for those of you who are sports aficionados like Brad right here,
well,
it's a good opportunity.
I was just thinking, the wife.
What's she tune into?
Real Housewives and whatnot, and some other stuff. She likes a lot of shows I do, but that's like her domain. So I think that you need to have some of that too.
Lakefront beach rentals and stuff like that.
Yeah, all kinds of that stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's offerings of all varieties through these places. It's nice to just be able to watch the college football that we have been missing recently. Even Clemson and Louisville on tonight. We got that. Yeah. They flipped the switch, man. They had to break the glass and push the button, and they like the BW3 commercials that were out for a long time about extending the game. Remember those?
Yep.
That's what we had here. So yeah, man, excited about getting that back. We're going to talk about 5-6 college games we're interested in. And then before, we got an injury report update. So
we do.
Give it to us, Brad.
All right. On Friday, we had Malik Collins show up and Denzel Ward both show up on Friday on the injury report. Denzel with his ribs, but he's no game day designation there. So I don't think he's in danger of not playing is the way that I would read this. Malik Collins is questionable with an oblique. Alex Wright is out. He has not practiced all week with a quad. So that's for the Browns side. Now, the only other limited player you had for the Browns was Carson Schlesinger, but I think he's likely to play if he played last week. And we've got the Ravens injury report. Now, they are Rashad Bateman, not
the Batman, the Bateman.
Not Batman. Bateman out. Jay Higgins out. Justice Hill out. Marlon Humphrey with a finger out, and Mike Green ankle questionable. So that's the list of what you need to know. 4 guys, all contributors. Jay Higgins might not be a contributor. Maybe special teams. I don't know what his role is on their team at this point.
I was looking that up. It feels like it's more of like a Keaton Mitchell situation now with Justice Hill out. So yeah, that's probably the pathway. I think even Delpit talked a little bit about that. But for the Browns, you're going to need Alex Wright to play well. If you do lose Collins, you're going to need more from Mike Hall. right? You're going to need him to uptick and Aiden to uptick in this one. So just a chance. I mean, it's a little
Good
funny.
opportunity for Aiden.
Yeah, it's just a little funny to think this year where the Browns are doing this whole diet tank or whatever you want to label it as. They have been really healthy, and that's always like such an unfortunate thing.
It's the worst
That like
thing
we're
ever.
being like, well, hey man, these guys missing time. You can see a little more of this player and that player.
Yep.
And the irony of that, although there's still 2 months of football to be played here, so plenty of time to see that stuff sway in a different direction. But that's it. That's all. Lamar is
healthy.
strikingly healthy. Lamar is healthy. Apparently, going to be good to go for the game, which I know some Ravens folks were concerned about. So that
be
is
concerned.
always, yeah. He drives everything for them. They're really anemic without him.
You know, the Browns are having a Brown season, but they always play the Ravens good at home. Always do.
They
Got a weird feeling around this one.
I think Kevin only lost to them twice in a season in his first year, if I recall. Yeah.
Yep.
So he's always split with them. And, last year's game was a real barn burner. It was a real crazy, right down to the very end, the Tillman touchdown late. So we'll see if they can pull off something like that again. It'd be pretty fun to see them be able to pull that off. If you're a draft sicko, you probably would hate it, but winning football games can still be fun when they happen, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you're trying to keep somebody like the Ravens from winning the division, even though and I don't know what the proper analogy is here between like stopping the Ravens or stopping the Steelers from winning the division.
Someone's going to lose their way into a 500 trip to the playoffs. It feels
equally dislike both of those organizations, and you wish they both could lose the rest of the year. But it feels like the Bengals have just missed too many of their opportunities to make it happen. But you never know. Flacco could catch fire. I saw that Burrow's back practicing a little bit. He won't be there for another month probably. The window's open though, I think. So yeah. There you go. All right, let's do our college games. There's some good ones. We're starting to get into the heat of it with the rivalry stuff creeping up, but let's pick some of these. We got updates from last week. Jake had a bad week. Yikes. I went 1-4. It's the first awful outcome I've had. BYU, Texas Tech. I guess BYU's just the most fake top 10 team we've had in a while. They just get their doors blown off by Texas Tech. You took that one correctly. We both took Indiana laying 14.5 at Penn State.
In that classic.
Turned into a classic. Sure did. But very much a one-score game. A&M at Missouri. Is the only game I got right, which is Missouri not putting up much of a fight in that one. And then I took Oregon 6.5 at Iowa, and that was a close one. I really wanted Iowa to win that game, man, just for the sake of like
too.
Every 2 years. I did too, man. Every 2 years or so, there's like an Iowa win that keeps that fan base's blood pumping. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like just like this upset, and it might happen this week. They go out to USC. It's supposed to be sloppy weather out there for that one. So
if they could win that one, they could probably win out and go 9-3 and force the committee to make a tough decision on them.
Yeah,
is really what they're trying to do. Because especially if they would win over USC, then and they would be 9-3 as well.
Right.
You really put them up against some brand names.
It's going to be tough though because the SEC is supposed to get their 7 or 8 teams into this. So I don't know how they fit an additional Big Ten team in, but I guess we'll just let it play out. What other one did we have? We had LSU at Alabama, and I took LSU to cover 10.5, and I think Bama scored late to cover.
It was
that
11.
One.
It was 11. I got you by the hook.
Sure did, man. So Brad goes 3-2. I go 1-4, and that puts us at 27-25 for me on the year, and Brad is at 23-29. But charging, folks.
Charging
late.
Yeah.
It is number 9 Notre Dame at number 22 Pitt. Intriguing game. Pitt's quarterback, that young kid. Heinzel, I think is his name. He's an impressive player. He's playing good ball. Yeah. I still think Notre Dame is on a roll and getting better though. And I think Notre Dame wins by 2 touchdowns. So I'll take Notre Dame.
Okay, I'm going to take Pitt at home. Narduzzi. This is a Narduzzi spot right here. Situational handicapping.
Okay.
Narduzzi at home. Give me the 12.5. He's going to cover that. It'll be a tight one.
Again, these lines are brought to you by FanDuel. Go check those out. Make a parlay off these picks we're making here. It'd be good for your bank account. Maybe, hopefully. See what happens. Number 21, Iowa, travels out west after a tough loss to Oregon. They get USC, -6.5. So USC's favored to win this game. You're deciding whether it's by 6 or the extra point.
Ugh.
And I think I'm going to take Iowa because I think it's going to be not traditional West Coast weather.
Yeah, give me Iowa too. I like them.
There we go. Hawkeyes, baby. Ooh, this is a really good one for if you're a Ty Simpson believer or hater, wherever you're at on the Ty Simpson landscape right now. It is a defense at Oklahoma that is as good as it comes in the second and third levels of the defense. Yep. And I think they're going to challenge Simpson in a very unique way. So number 11, Oklahoma travels to number 4, Alabama. Who you got in that one? Alabama laying 5.5 at home.
I'll take Bama to cover. They haven't let me down recently.
I think I'm going to take Oklahoma, but I don't feel great about it.
Okay.
Don't feel great. I just have a sneaky feeling Alabama wins it on a field goal late. It's my hunch. Okay. Number 10, Texas, another big SEC game at number 5, Georgia, with Georgia laying 6.5, the same as up there above with the USC game. You're saying Georgia, it's the extra point type win, or there's some field goals that get in the way of this being a traditional 7-point win that maybe makes it like a 26-20 final or something of that sort, right? 34-28, something in that world. I think I'm going to take Texas here to cover the 6.5.
I can't do it, man. I'm on the other side of you on this one. Give me Georgia to cover. Texas, I don't know. I'm not a believer.
The apparently, according to Dan Orlovsky, least challenged, weakest number 1 team in a long time, Ohio State, host UCLA for a rare late season night game for Ohio State. Late kick. They're laying 31.5. How do you feel about that?
Is this Nico?
I think Nico's playing. I believe he's playing. You can check it on the fly. Nico Iamaleava is shutting down. Let me see. Let me see here. Looks like he is going to return. So he is going to return to play this game this week.
All right. Boy, it's hard to bet against Ohio State.
They've just covered. Haven't they covered every game this year?
Everything.
I'm not sure if they covered the Purdue spread last week. It was probably pretty large.
Yeah. Give me Ohio State to cover.
Yeah, I feel like you're probably right about that. They're 7-1-1 against the spread this year. So pretty dang good.
I heard an argument, Jake. This is interesting. I heard an argument that the the committee for like the rankings, instead of trying to like value wins, losses, road wins, all that stuff, that like the spread in Vegas accounts for all of that in the number. So maybe your ATS number should be a big factor in where you're ranked in the rankings.
That's an interesting theory.
What do you think of that?
I do think that because it's largely the perception people have of you.
Right.
So yeah, I'm with that. I think it should be
the
a
road
part of
spots are built in, the weather's built in, so I don't know.
I like it. Ohio State did not cover last week, by the way.
Yeah.
It makes me sick. I think Ohio State wins. Boy, I don't know, man. Is UCLA going to score 2 touchdowns on them in Columbus at night? I can't do it either. I got to take Ohio State. Can't do it.
Battle back to beat Maryland in overtime or whatever that was, that game.
I know, and then I just like watched them play Indiana, and they were just lifeless on the road, and it feels like they're in a weird spot. Bonus game, TCU, pesky TCU team at the Cougars of BYU. We get 2 straight BYU games on the list. Laying 3.5 is BYU at home. Different team at home? What's your theory?
These are still meaningful games for the playoff here.
100%.
Man, yeah, give me BYU at home.
I think I got to go BYU at home as well. I think they know how important it is. I hate to pick the last two to be the same, but
That's all right.
that happens sometimes. We got 3 different ones on here and 3 of the same. So
Yeah,
nice chance to move around a little bit this week. It's getting closer than ever, but that's it. That's all. We have Ken McKusick coming up, who is a fantastic Ravens guest, and we will be back for your game day pod on Sunday morning. But you have a little more time to listen to that one because reminder, it's a 4:00 kickoff, guys. So there you go. That's I think I'm on number 9, and I got a couple more to give you guys in the game day show to hit the number we need. All right. Enjoy your Saturday. All right. Enjoy the weather. It's going to be relatively warm for this time of year. Take advantage of that. Know that we appreciate you, and tell somebody in your life about Brown's Film Breakdown. And a reminder, a great Christmas gift. Start thinking about
the best
a nice little stocking stuffer. You know, people don't like things so much as useful product over time. Keep your eye out for maybe a little Christmas special that we'll have on Black Friday. Just saying. I know some people that know some people that can set a code.
Right there.
We'll see what we can do. Appreciate you guys much. Have a fantastic Saturday, like we said, from Brad and I. And go Browns. Browns Ravens Part 2. We're happy to have Kim back with us. This is turning into a one of my favorite things. Yeah, it's just like my favorite time to chat about Ravens and where they're at, where they're going. It seems like everything is on the up and up here a little bit, Ken, since the injury apocalypse that happened after the Browns left town in week 2. Enlighten us on that, because it got pretty dark there for a while with a lot of injuries.
Very, very, very dark. And it really got darkest during the Chiefs game when Lamar was first hurt. Now, I say that, and we're having this discussion on Wednesday, 11/12, and Lamar missed practice today with a knee injury, not the same hamstring that occurred apparently in this last game against the Vikings. So we're holding our breath. Marlon Humphrey will be out a week. He won't play against the Browns. He's got his finger pinned. They had 4 or 5 other DNPs today. So the injury luck, the heater they'd been on, where they had 2 straight days with nobody on the injury report.
That's wild.
You know, at midseason seems to be over.
So the knee is like nobody knows where this came from.
I don't think anybody's identified the play. It was soreness after the game kind of thing, and I don't think anybody knows what exactly is going on. Harbaugh is saying all the right things. He expects him back at practice tomorrow, kind of thing. But we've heard that story before, so we'll see.
Right. Okay, so talk with us about where you like you said, you fell to 1-5. Rams game, and then all that. So what went wrong, and is it just injuries, or do you think they found some identity in different ways? I know there's been some pretty good stuff. I mean, I've seen how they've changed usage of Kyle Hamilton, how it's unlocked the defense a little bit after the bye week. But just enlighten us how you go from 1-5, you won your last 3, and how I would say like the confidence level that this is who they are, because nobody thought the Ravens would be 1-5, and I know that's driven by Lamar being out more than anything else. But you do want to kind of step back and say, how do we get here at this point?
Yeah, it wasn't all that, unfortunately. I mean, if the Ravens want to be honest and self-effacing, they had a very high variance offense, and variance is value. The value of variance accrues to the defense, is what I always say. Yeah. If there's a barbelling of results, and that's what they had, that is not good for the offense. You want to have an average result on every play, particularly when you don't turn the ball over very much. So the Ravens weren't having their normal drive-sustaining things. They've only had 60 snaps in a game twice this season in 9 games, which is ridiculous. I mean, the Ravens are a regularly beat the snot out of their opponents in terms of snap count, and that just hasn't been the case. They did beat the Vikings 66-61, and they've lost a bunch of other games 70s to in the 50s. So it's been really ugly this year in terms of a lot of that being asked of the defense snap-wise. They've been playing very shorthanded in the front 5. Both in terms of the quality of the players and the quantity of the players. Then they traded their best pass rusher during that stretch, Dafe Owe, and they got a safety back, so that didn't really help the front 5.
What's your thought on that trade? Because that was a very side-eye type of trade for me. It felt like when the Browns traded Emmanuel Ogbah, a young defensive end that had some promise for them, for Eric Murray, was a safety they brought. It just felt very similar to that. Did you not like? This is tough to find pass rushers.
It's very tough to find pass rushers, and it's pretty easy to find safeties. So I was really upset that the Ravens didn't address that in the offseason, and they ended up going with a lot of younger guys that they had a little bit of confidence in, and they had a undrafted rookie make the team that they washed him out after 1 start. They actually released him, and the Colts picked him up. They had another, that was Lowry. And then they had Sanusi Kane, who they drafted in the 7th round last year, who had made progress towards being the number 3 safety during camp. He was a guy everybody was watching. They said, oh, yeah, he's certainly moving up and whatnot. Then he's never been able to get on the field. So there's things happening in practice, I would suspect, as our discussion with Sanders went, that they don't feel like he's ready to go. And then they cut him and re-signed him to the practice squad. Nobody went after him. He'd been a very key special teams player. So it was actually a kind of a surprising cut. And then Alohi Gilman, they picked up from the Chargers in the OA trade. He's a Notre Dame teammate of Hamilton's, so there's some connection there. And he's done a pretty good job on the back end. Not a good tackler, and that's shown up already. He's been in position for a couple of turnovers. He dropped a pick this last week on a nice loose bracket. He also had a nice strip in the previous game. So at least I'd say, overall, Gilman's play has been pretty good despite the missed tackles.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt you in the middle of that where you guys are. So you can finish on the 3-game win streak. What feels different about this other than just getting that guy that wears number 8 back?
Yeah, well, that is the biggest thing. But before they got number 8 back, Tyler Huntley won them a football game, and it was after they'd had a couple starts from a guy's name I can't even remember anymore. Cooper Rush. I'm just kidding. It was terrible for the Ravens in the couple of games he played. Yeah. So they put in Huntley, and Huntley had maybe the best, one of the 3, I think, best backup games ever by a Raven. And did not actually probably the 4th best. I think we actually did a show on that. That's why I know this.
Who's he competing with? Give us the name. Like Browns have this long jersey. So what's the few names?
3 other great backup quarterbacks. Tony Banks in 1999 beat the Super Bowl bound Tennessee Titans 41-14. That's number 1. Wow. Number 2, Trent Dilfer in 2000 had a great run of games and whatnot. But he had one particular game when they ended the scoreless drought with a 27-7 win where he had a 118 rating or thereabout. That's number 2. Number 3 is Anthony Wright in 2003 against the Seahawks, who led him to a 44-41, very controversial win in overtime where they came back from 17 in the 4th quarter. So those are the 3 I had of him.
Only one of those 3 ended up playing for the Browns at some point. So, all right. I just want
that's amazing. That's amazing.
The crossover there. But Huntley did. So, obviously, then that takes us to 50% hit rate is where we're at.
Yeah, Dilfer did too. Yeah, of course. That's who you mean. Yeah.
Yep. There we go. Okay. So anyway, like you said, continue on.
After Dilfer, then Jackson came back and things started to get a little more normal in terms of what they did. They stuck it to the Dolphins on Thursday night very effectively, and they played good defense, pretty good offense in that game. And then they went into a tough environment in Minnesota. It was loud on defense, and they were able to overcome a relentless blitz. And this is a game where Lamar only had 2 out of 30 passes where he had ample time and space, as I define it, which is a 3-second pocket and ability to step into your throw. Yeah. Normally that'd be about 30%, but it was 7% in this game. And he still performed reasonably well. They got a few runs out of Keaton Mitchell, which he might be someone we see in this game. And the Vikings helped them out with 8 false starts, which at home, which the Ravens may or may not have had a part in doing. I don't know if you've heard this, but I think that they're going to send information on the Ravens to the league to say the Ravens were intentionally messing them up. And it's very Harbaugh-like to come up with an advantage play like this.
Yeah.
That you could
8 false starts on a home team is wild. That is something. All right. Well, there you go. All right. So talk to me real quick about the rookies. And we do that on your show too, but there was a nice draft there. And I know that we were excited. You were pretty excited about them week 2. How's it gone since then?
Yeah. So I think I'm at the the quadruple biorhythm of highs right now on some of the Ravens rookies. Mike Green had his best game yet this last week. He's just terrific in terms of relentless motor. They've been overusing him tremendously. You mentioned that with Graham at a rotational position, playing too many positions. Well, that's the same thing with Mike Green. They've been playing him way too much. And situational pass rusher is the appropriate starting point for a high-end pass rush talent as a rookie. Suggs did that, played 39% of the snaps, got 12 sacks, defensive rookie of the year, and he was off to the races in terms of his career. With Green, he's been playing more like, I want to say, almost 70% of the snaps. And it's just way too high. But they dressed 3 outside linebackers the previous 2 games before this last one when they acquired Draymond Jones. And he, by the way, has been a big acquisition already. Nice. Malachi Starks had an interception in each of the last 2 games, getting back to the rookies. Plays a good loose bracket safety, or has the last 2 weeks. He dropped the ball against Buffalo, and these last two were his next two chances, interceptions. Look good, and I think he's going to be fine. I did like Nick Emanwari more.
Who's playing really good
he's
football.
He's playing really good football, yeah. And he looks like basically a faster version of Kyle Hamilton. Honestly, it's just he's scary good.
He's a special talent. Yeah, you were right about that one. So, but anyway, he can still have a good player and Starks there. That's right, regardless. So
right. Teddy Buchanan, the 4th round pick, has played reasonably well in defense. He's a 2-down linebacker. Hamilton moves to play the dime on 3rd down from his slot corner role. The Ravens have made a big change, as you've kind of mentioned. They don't play any standard nickel anymore. Not any. Okay, so the only time they have a true slot corner on the field is when they move Hamilton into the dime position. Hamilton is we don't care if it's Wes Welker, Edelman, the shiftiest, fastest receiver you'll ever see in the slot. We're still playing it there, kind of thing. And I'm sure that'll happen against the Browns too.
He's really proven to be a one of one. That guy can do a lot of different things, and it's fun to see them unlocking that. I think you get so pigeon. A lot of defenses get like, well, we got him, stick him at the post, and let him. No, man, like let guys like that get close to the line of scrimmage, and it was fun to see how they're unlocking him. Whether they had to trade away a pass rusher to get there, I think you would agree with me, is a little bit of a debate, but nonetheless. All right, so good stuff. I just want to catch up on how you feel about this one. Probably is the safest spot to be. Like, your feeling on, it's something that has come up in Brown circles all the time here, which is we understand where they're at. We understand why they're not good. We understand they're, tanking. Diet tanking is probably the way to say it. But it seems like this division is as open as it's been this late into the season for the first time in a while. So I would have to imagine, the record isn't where you guys wanted it to be or where they thought they would be at this point, but there's still a lot of confidence that they can figure this out, especially considering, Pittsburgh, no disrespect to them, but it just is, it's destined to be another 9-8, 8-9 team over there. So I guess it's the confidence of winning the division isn't, I think, at least from the outside looking in, Ken, isn't a concern for me. How do you feel about this team getting to the point that they are at the AFC's biggest stage again to get it done for what their goal is here?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I think that it is the thing that keeps us up nights here. Is this a good playoff team? Even if it looks like they're basically have righted the ship towards getting to the division win. I don't think there are any guarantees. I'll just say that every team in the AFC right now is flawed. The Buffalo Bills are tremendously flawed, and they're one of the biggest problems for the Ravens in the playoffs. The Chiefs are flawed. They have their own sets of problems that have led them to a record that is what they are, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
The Colts, I think they got exposed last week, and I think that I say beat the Falcons, but there's the previous week that
Pittsburgh humbled them in a serious way there. Yeah, it's fascinating, man. I do think it's like some of these situations where you get into this early season rut and then you kind of work your way out of it. It's all about peaking at the right time. And it does feel like they're moving in the right direction. You do this. I want to cross over and talk about it from our side, because I think you enlighten us in a good way. Give us one play, because I know that it's been Zay Flowers has been the consistent part of the offense, but pass catching weapon. Otherwise, I think Likely's a little healthier now. Mark Andrews could be a part of it. So who are outside of Zay the guys they're finding to be most consistent throwing? And then on the defensive side, another name maybe on that side that you think is going to be primed to have a very important role and play well against the Browns.
Okay, so a good matchup on either side of the ball. So let me start on the defensive side, because I think I don't want to pick Hamilton because they'll try and put him up in positions all over the field to take advantage.
Right.
Now, I have two guys. Travis Jones on the inside, when he gets one-on-one against a guard or center, is absolutely unstoppable right now. He had one of the best games of his career this last week.
Which means I got to interrupt you. Is he's the contract's up after this? What's your thought? They've invested a lot, obviously. You think he's gone?
The guy they need to re-sign.
Okay.
They need to redo it before the end of the year. And the three big ones they have are Linderbaum, Likely, and Jones. And people are laughing at me, this summer for saying Jones is the guy they really need to have. But the pass rush goes all through him. I mean, he's effectively the new Haloti Ngata.
Wow.
They really need him to come back, and they sign him. And 4 years, $64 million. It won't take a otherworldly amount of money, but he's a very good player, and hopefully they'll be able to get him.
Hate to interrupt you there. I didn't mean to do that, because that was a name I saw for there's always these like early NFL previews on free. It's like, I gotta ask Ken about him. So okay, yeah, keep going. You had another one.
So yeah, well, Linderbaum and likely real quickly. Linderbaum, I think the Ravens have to let him go if he demands too much money. I don't want to pay him Creed Humphrey money, and likely they probably can come to an agreement. And if they can't, they'll franchise him. It would be my guess because they don't have anybody from the tight end room still staying. Second guy on the defense who I think is a good matchup for the Browns is Mike Green. After this last week, I really want to see him get wily with the tackles, and I think that they can unlock some things they hadn't done before in terms of some stunts and twists, in terms of some other ways to let him rush from off ball. I know we see that from Myles Garrett a fair amount, to make him even more effective. But he looked great this last week, and the last play of the game was 4th and 4, last meaningful play. McCarthy threw an incomplete pass that took him 10 seconds to deliver the ball. That whole time, the Ravens rushed 3. Mike Green never gave up, never stopped doing it. And he finally delivered a quarterback hit as he threw the ball. Is about as incredible a motor play as I've seen from any defensive line in the last decade.
Oh, I'll have to hunt that one out. Try to find it then. All right. Good stuff, Ken. This is a reminder to our fans, a 4:00 game this weekend. The Browns only non-1 o'clock kick all season. So
Really?
it is the NFL knew this was going to be rough to watch. They got out in front of it a little bit. They have a game with a TBA tag or TBD with the Bengals Week 18, but that's trending toward just another 1 o'clock game because neither team is relevant. But yeah, this is it. So reminder as many times as I can, because I feel like people are going to sit down at 1 o'clock on Sunday and be like, oh, okay, that's not the time. So it'll be interesting again. Browns will present some challenges to the way the Ravens operate on offense. And I think that we'll see how Dylan Gabriel can navigate a very, very talented defense that the Ravens present. So we'll be dialed in. Can tell our folks again. I mean, I feel like you and I have done this so many times, they know, but remind them where they can find you.
Sure. I appreciate that, Jake. Always appreciate coming on too. But at Film Study Ravens on Twitter and filmstudybaltimore.com is my website. We just passed 1,800 career podcasts out there. So if you want to have a lot of Ravens content that you can pick through and this historical stuff and whatnot, and probably for Browns fans, it's going to be the most recent stuff is the most interesting or pertinent. Articles out there on the website as well.
Yeah, Ken's got a great podcast on when the Ravens moved to I'm just kidding. Listen, one of the best doing it. I think the best Baltimore voice for covering the team the way we try to cover them here. So cannot recommend it enough. And we will continue to visit with Ken every time these two teams run into each other. And maybe some year it'll be a third time in a single season. We'll look forward to that. That'd be cool. All right, Ken, thanks again. Guys, appreciate you for being here. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Go to YouTube, go to Instagram, go to TikTok, find us there. And continue to support us. We appreciate you guys very much. And until we talk next time, go Browns.